right. Welcome to the Golf Locker Room. Welcome to the Golf Locker Room, episode 35. We moving along. What's going on, y'all?
What's up? What's up? What's up?
What's
What you
good?
got a
What's
brain?
good, man?
Did you get a brain freeze over there, Big Sif?
Yeah, man.
Jesus
Oh,
Christ.
oh.
That's right. That's right. Uh, we got a good guest on that's gonna come on, and but first let's just get to some regular talk. Masters Week starts tomorrow.
So ready. So
Yeah. Okay,
ready.
tell me the last time it was three black men playing in the Masters. I'll wait.
Oh,
Ooh,
man.
it's been a while. Been a while.
It has never
Yeah, I'm gonna say that again. Three black men playing in a Masters event. Pretty dope. Heard the
Mm.
weather's gonna be pretty janky for the first couple of
been.
first day at least, but that might help Tiger. Get a little delay, play 9 holes, get a delay, jump in that ice bath, come back out. You know, you never can tell. What say
Hey,
you guys?
The thing is, man, it's just great to see the big cat back on the course. Just for not only himself but for the game of golf. Somebody said, the tickets went through the roof. Well, the Masters tickets they don't go through the roof. People pass those tickets down, so it's always sold out. Matter of fact, Charlie Jr. is on the on the premises at Augusta.
Nice.
He it was a lot of pain there. And so Jeff
Yeah.
Champion reached out to him and said, hey, if I get you guys tickets, would you come? And so Charlie's there. And that's the first time that he's been. His dad never, got the opportunity to go, nor did he want to go afterwards. So I think it's a good thing for him moving forward.
Yeah. Let's get that up. And
that's
get that up definitely to Jeff Champ for reaching out. You know, we all got to pull our legends and pull our lineage into the room because
Right.
people pull their people into the room.
Big
You
time.
look around the expensive room and you be like, how the hell is he here? Like, oh, he got pulled in the room. So as minorities, pull your people into the room. Shout out to Jeff Champ once again for pulling legends and family in the room. Um, yeah, what else is going on? Tell me something else. Tell me some golf stuff. Oh, Tricia's back. APGA volunteering. What's going? What? How was it?
man, that was everything. So anybody and everybody, if you don't know about the APJ tour, definitely go out there and check it out. Google it. It's www.apjtour.org. Their mission, the mission of the APJ tour is to bring greater diversity to the game of golf by developing African Americans and other minorities for careers in golf. So went out there, it was legit. Had a great time. Did the 2-dayer down in Port St. Lucie at the PGA golf course. They played the die course, and the golf gods were good. So it was supposed to rain. Pardon my dog. It was supposed to rain over the 2 days, and it kind of just stayed away. And like I said, to see the gentlemen out there do their thing, play their game. Tim O'Neill won. They have a $25,000 purse that they have out, and they
Okay.
pay the top 10, so it's really good. We got to see that we had some golfers that are going to that they played at FAMU or they're getting ready to go to FAMU. So we had some of
Okay.
those gentlemen. One of those gentlemen, Ian Davis, actually, really nice guy. His father was out there. It was great to see. He came in like ninth place, so that was awesome.
Okay.
I believe it was like his first event, so it was really
Yeah.
good to see. Really good to
Yeah.
see.
Again, it goes right back to what we were talking about, pulling people in the room. Everything counts when you're
Yeah.
trying to build champions. Everything counts when you're building a repertoire and experience. Playing on great greens in a tournament competition, getting a little change in your pocket. $25,000 purses is nothing to laugh at when you're scraping and budgeting for your next tournament when you're not sponsored or when you're on these mini tours. You know what I mean? So if you can throw 10, 5, 6,000, that might get you to 3 extra tournaments that year and keep your grind alive. It's really lifelines with
Right.
experience, and and that's what it's going to take. I at least that's my opinion. That's what I believe it's going to take, is to keep the grind. We have a great opportunity to keep that alive, and it's only been getting bigger. Sif, what say
Mhm.
you?
Trish, do they play? Do they play weekly? Is that a
So they have the schedule. I'll pull it up real quick. Like they're getting ready to play in Vegas, and then the
Mhm.
following week they're playing in Scottsdale. So that's the thing too. Like if you're in that area and you pull up the schedule and you're available, you can go out there. You can watch them. You can support them. You can even go out there and help volunteer. Like I say, we came out there. We had a couple of clubs that were down there. It was kind of phenomenal to even listen to. We had Fairview, the Fairview Golf Club. They've been around since like 1965 or something. Or well, no, I think around for 65 years or 1965. Either way, got to pull it up, check them out. And then we also had Par Five, and they've been around since like 1977. So
right?
a couple of folks from those two golf clubs, came out and supported and helped, and it was great. It was really, really great. And then we had a couple of walkers that came out and supported them and walked and watched them play and everything, and it was appreciated. It was really appreciated. Some of the guys
Yeah,
said it felt even more so like a tour, like a real tour. So you know Mike Coop and all them. It was Mike Coop, Cole Smith was out there. The APGA, they're doing really great things. So like I say, pull up their schedule, and if you're in there, they go to Chicago. It's they have a whole schedule out there. They're going to be in Sugarloaf, in like June, July-ish time. So if you're in the area, you want to check it out. If you can volunteer, definitely volunteer. Just reach out to Mike Coop. He can hook you up.
And
yeah,
Manny,
definitely. Yeah,
I know you. I know you follow. You kind of a curator of events, kind of a historian, so to speak. But I know you follow that. You've actually been to an event. Do
yeah.
you know if like some of the top, like your, Willie Max and Tim O'Neill, some of the top guys, are do they have club sponsors?
Uh, I'm not sure if they actually have club sponsors. I know the APGA, and they can speak better than us. That's why we want to get them on the show. I know they are sponsored by State Farm, and the PGA Tour backs them. And then some of our PGA Tour players, like a Billy Horschel, seen what they were doing, and is hosting an event also. So it comes from humble beginnings. I don't want to tell their story, but it kind of started in LA with Ken Bentley and around the LA area, and when he kind of formed it together. But I'll let them tell their own story. But that's when I found out about it about 10, 12 years ago in the LA area. And their championship used to be at Chester, Washington, right in the hood, South Central, where we all learned to play. And that's where I found out about it. This year and last year, I went to the Wilshire Country Club where they had an event, and then I went to the Torrey Pines event. And you know, firsthand experience is, like I said, it's like a farm league, like in baseball. To get to the big time, you got to go and do big time tournaments and big time experiences and get those reps under your belt. And like I said, I think we had this conversation before. Hey, it's working. It's
Yeah.
working.
Yeah. I
It's
mean, Kamaya
very
Johnson, Kamaya Johnson's out there doing his thing. He's got some sponsorships. So,
He's
I
got some
mean,
sponsorships.
yeah.
I think the greatest has yet to come from that
Right.
league. You know what I mean? Because it's a building block process. But we're gonna see people pass through like a Kamayu or Tim O'Neill on the Champions Tour soon. We wishing him luck and wishing him blessings to get to that Champions Tour. Like
Yeah.
I said, Tony Finau's played on that tour. I don't know if Harold has, but I know
Okay.
Tony Finau ran through there. And when he
Yeah.
was on his journey, another cat that didn't go to college, that was a grinder, that was a hustler, that made his way to the top 10 of the PGA Tour. I mean, come on. And he passed through the APGA. I mean, so again, without going too deep, it's working.
We're gonna get him
Support
on the show. We're gonna get him on
support
the
some
show.
shit that's working, family.
Yeah.
Support the shit that works. Don't support or get too far in the weeds of your own ideas and what you think should be done. How about we get behind some stuff that's already there that's working?
Yeah.
That's what I'm gonna do, And if I hear some new stuff that I think is gonna work, I'm gonna support that. But right now, I'm supporting what's working. The APGA Tour is working. The
Right.
NACCHAP Invitational is working. Hopefully, the Jim Thorpe Invitational, if they do get it, it's new. That might be working. Hopefully, 2 or 3 more juniors from our community getting something to going. That will be working. We're gonna support everything that's working and that's ran right and that's for the best interest of our people. All right, I always got a soapbox, so I'm gonna get off the soapbox. Tiger Woods, Tiger Woods, y'all. Tiger Woods, y'all. It's a blessing to have him out there. He's the needle again. He's the needle. The Masters is going to be that much more entertaining. I was going to watch it anyway, because guess what? We have 3 black men in the Masters. 3 black men in the Masters. That's crazy. That's crazy. I think we need to celebrate that. And they're great golfers, great guys. They've all put in extreme amount of work. The families have put in just as amount of work to get to this point. And it again, it's working. We're seeing small footsteps. Sif, you come from black golf royalty. Could your unc imagine 3 black men in the Masters in 2022?
Hey,
What would Charlie say right now if he was alive? Bless his soul. What would Dr. Sifford say?
he would probably die again. But no, man, seriously, he right now, man, he's looking down and he's smiling. Tiger was, almost like his grandson, and so it was a deal where it gave him joy to see Tiger play. Now you got Cameron, you got Harold. Harold being from Charlotte, it gives him great joy. And then just we were talking in the green room, Charlie Jr. is on the premises down at Augusta. So Charlie and I, we did an interview with a young lady in the New York Times, the sports division. She wrote an article, and Charlie was, he's pretty tough. Charlie Jr. was pretty tough, and I echoed his sentiments. And so Jeff Champ reached out to us the other day, and he said, "If I get you guys tickets, would you come down?" I said, "Well, I'm not going unless Charlie goes." I said, "That's just out of respect, Charlie Jr." And so, Charlie said, I'll go. And so Al Wood hooked him up. He's staying with Al down there, and
nice. Shout out to Al.
Yeah, it's gonna be good for him.
That's dope. That's dope as hell.
Yeah.
That's dope as hell. That's dope as hell.
That is
That's
beautiful.
dope as hell.
Nah, did y'all hear about Corey Guyton, the little young man that's playing golf now? He's a young kid that's coming up, but he's out there too. He got to go out there, and if you just hear his story on like the BGA, I know his dad had posted something about it, but just saying, his, I think his dad, the son said, or maybe the dad asked him, can you see yourself here? And basically, just paraphrasing it, the son was like, no, he sees himself there.
Right.
And it's just beautiful, right?
On BGA. Yeah. But again, bringing, and we're gonna get to our guest because he's another trailblazer, but bringing people in the room again. Other people get in the room, and when they get in the room, they get exposed to that greatness, and that's what I tell us. We have to start bringing. If we are in control of a room or we have some pull in a room, we have to reach down and pull people into those rooms, the real rooms. And
Yeah.
I seen that story on the BGA where I think the same gentleman that let him play at where they play the FedEx in Atlanta, I think he got to play around there. And then that same gentleman was a member at Augusta and then pulled him in there. You know what I mean? Bringing him in the room at a young age. So I
Beautiful.
think we'll
And Manny, one more thing before you bring them the guests. And in a lot of these chats, we hear a lot about, Tiger, and a lot of people are negative, but
Yeah.
yeah.
people have no idea what Tiger's done. Not for we all know about the game of golf, but we know that we know what the Masters was about in its inception. And then you
Yes.
have a Tiger Woods that goes to the Masters, and then they, after he eviscerates the golf course, then they make it Tiger proof. So that in itself says, okay, Masters, I'm here. I knew what your stereotypes were. I knew where I stood coming in. You didn't believe that I could come in and get this done. I'm gonna come in and just eviscerate your golf course. And now all of a sudden you got Cam who's there. I think if Cam puts well, I think
Oh,
he's if he
got the length.
he got the
He
length.
got the length. He got
If
the
he
Yeah.
length.
puts well. Harold Varner makes a lot of birdies. And so
Yeah.
so those guys are right there on the cusp of something great.
Please come on.
Love it.
And I get some. I don't know why we like this sometimes, but we
I
a
don't
mess
get it.
sometimes. Let me tell you, your uncle was probably the most outspoken of the professional black golfers of his time, right? He wasn't letting shit slide.
No.
He wasn't just shut up and dribble. He was gonna let you know exactly what was going on, and he was gonna golf his ball, right? For Tiger to name his son after him lets you know where Tiger's mindset is. And because Tiger's not going to have a Black Lives Matter sign and pick it in the street, that don't mean he don't understand the struggle. We got to let people be and do what they do. If you're going to do something how you do it, do something how you do it. Let somebody else do something how they do it. But the signs are there that he understands the struggle. And like most minorities, we love all people. Anything I do, I love to do for my people. But if other people, like I run a golf league for many years, right? I have Latins, white. It's a majority black, but I have everybody. Our golf LA is for everybody. You know what I mean? So, and it's good to have people that look like me or women that look like you, Trish, in leadership positions to allow everyone to come and join in. But we are in leadership positions. That's the key, because we're going to be inclusive. We're going to be fair. We're going to be inclusive. We're going to sprinkle our culture over the whole event or the whole thing anyway, because that's just who we are. And that is how you fix America. That's how you bring everyone together. And again, another soapbox, and I'm going to get off of it. Let's go. Trish, I'm going to let you bring in our guest. I love this guest because he's tapping in to a world I was originally in, music. I worked with probably almost everybody on the West Coast and put out albums and produced songs and all that good stuff back in the day. I was a 90s baby, late 80s, 90s producer baby during the height of gangster rap, so-called gangster rap. I might bring on some of my guys though. Coolio, he golfs now. I used to run Above the Laws record label, but I'm gonna bring some guys on, try to get them in golf. Maybe we'll have a different kind of show. But the East Siders, Trey D, the Snoop, all that good stuff. But we got a guy that's tapped in to our new generation, and our new generation looks like they want to play some golf.
Let's see.
Back in the studio, back in the days, we used to golf, but we used to do the Tiger Woods video golf for $200 a round. Video though. And I'm telling you, addicted. Me, Trey D, Snoop. I mean, we was addicted. A gang of people addicted to the Tiger Woods video golf, gambling. leaving the studio at like 6 in the morning. Been there since 11 at night, gambling on Tiger Woods. Crazy. But this young gentleman seems like he's gonna actually bring our new stars maybe to the fold and introduce, and he has introduced some of them to golf, and they may start liking the game. But I'm gonna let you go introduce them. We're gonna bring them right on in.
All right. So we got our special guest tonight is Tim Mercer. He's a certified personal golf coach, and he attended Chicago State University. And we're going to bring him on in so he can tell us more about himself.
All right, let's bring on Mr. Tim Mercer.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What's good?
What up, though? How you doing, young brother?
All is well. All is well. I'm
Nice.
honored to be on, to be considered. So I'm good, man. Y'all made me good.
Nice. Let's get that up again. Let's get that up. All right, Mr. Mercer, tell us just a little bit about your upbringing and yourself, and how'd you get into this wonderful game and be an influencer in this wonderful game too.
Man, come on now. It's an honor. I would say it really, because we are in a sport, right? We're in a game. I was just an all-around athlete, natural athlete, played every sport at a level where, I was competing. So from basketball being my first love and just, playing in my little bitty leagues around the famous Gary, Indiana, shout out to my small city, man, my lovely city.
Let's get that up, though, Gary.
Yeah, we go, indeed. Yeah, so we gonna bring it back, but yeah, I was just an all-around athlete. Man, travel AAU. I used to go in basketball tryouts, and the coach would say, "You Tim Mercer, right?" It's like, yeah, like you the captain of this team. Like basketball was life, man. Right. Like for real. Most people don't know that, right? They think I was playing golf since I was 4 years old, but it was basketball up until about 13, 14 years old.
Okay.
Just wanted to try something new going into high school. Like I just had a new sport in mind. I don't know why golf was in my mind, but I got to the last day of school, my high school day or high school year, saw a kid bouncing a golf ball in the hallway. And I was like, oh, yeah. I was like, yeah, we got a golf team, right? He was like, yeah, we got one more practice tomorrow. Come through, see what it is. Came through, man, and I don't know nothing about the game. Nobody plays golf in my family. No one introduced golf to me. We went to the range over near South Gleason, and I saw a 100-yard marker, and I was just had in my mind, like, man, if I could hit the ball to that little 100-yard marker, I felt I was probably decent. And lo and behold, I ended up doing it a couple times. I don't know what my form looked like. I really wish like I had a video of my swing when I first started, man. Like, was my arm bent? Was I like no turn? I had no balance, whatever. But lo and behold, man, that sparked something. That sparked something that would lead to, up to today. And so that whole summer, I played 8 in the morning to 8 at night. Had one golf course in Gary, Indiana. I played that whole summer. Literally walked up there. It was probably like 7 minutes from my crib, maybe like a 15, 20-minute walk, something like that. Yeah, every day, man.
Self-taught?
I made that move. And what's up?
Self-taught?
Yeah, self-taught, right? So that's a big part of my story that most don't know is that I just played every day and played so much. There was no PGA instructor in locale to where I was at. It was literally all Tim allowing himself to play and develop awareness of the game to get the ball in the hole. Like that was all I had.
Nice.
So that moved on, and I started to stray away from basketball because the politics that started to formulate in high school basketball kind of stirred me away. And as a 14, 15-year-old kid, you don't have all of the, the traits to withstand against, the politics, and, you feel hurt, right? They play somebody else up, you've been balling out, you can't hit a three, you can't break nobody's ankles, you can't dunk on nobody to get attention. Like they got their starting five, and you just, ride that or less. So that started to push me away. So I moved into other sports, played tennis. But golf was kind of like turned into my mainstream sport. And after a while, I just saw my avenue. I said, man, you know what? I'm gonna work to get a scholarship in golf. Like, I don't know where that came from, bro. Like I was all about basketball. It was in some athletics of some sort. But golf started to really strive as my mainstream sport. So I just really took it hard. That next year I came back, my sophomore year, I was captain of the golf team,
Wow.
MVP of the golf team. We won conference,
Okay.
and I was projected to make it out of sectionals. Didn't make it out that year. And then a year later, right, because my younger brother, 1 year younger, Aaron Mercer, came a year after me, never played golf, only played, like literally he took my clubs and would run with him when I was playing golf the year that he wasn't. Like, he like, what are you doing? Like, just complete joke. Came a year after. Let's speed the story. We took it by storm. Became number 1 and 2 in the city.
Wow.
Both captain and co-captain of the golf team. He actually beat me 1 year. Made a birdie putt on a playoff hole. A long curling 40-footer, man, to beat me. And won MVP of conference that year. And that ended up leading to ultimately making history, man. Like, my brother literally stands today as the only African-American golfer to make it out of sectionals to regionals from Gary, Indiana. And that stands and
Let's hear that
will. Yeah, bro. Yeah. So I don't take that lightly. I think that will stand because today my city is struggling. Golf isn't even offered within our school system, which I don't even know if you'll call it a school system. They're trying to tear my school down. They're trying to tear other schools down. Like, I think maybe like one high school or something like that. But, golf isn't even offered. So there's no opportunity for another child like me who has natural talent, because that's what I realized, to be exposed and be, illuminated by the game and what the game can do to you, not only on a physical level through like the sports and athletics, but on executive levels. Like, it gets you corporate connections. It puts you in fields that I mean, golf is an NFT, man. It's
That's
it's
right.
definitely, I mean, like, it gets you access that, other knowledge of sports or other bridges won't get you into. So speeding it up
Real
a little
talk.
more, scholarship right out of high school, the Prairie State
That's what's
College.
up. Hold on. Let's not even gloss over that. My brother got some free college. Come on.
Right.
That's very
That's a
hard to
fact.
do. That's
That's
very,
a
very
fact,
hard
bro.
to do.
And it's like, I accomplished what I envisioned, right? Like, I heard this quote that the most pitiful person in the room is he with sight but no vision. Right. So I had vision, right, when I was 14, 15 years old, that I can get a scholarship in this sport as eagerly as I was, to get one in basketball. And I got that, bro. So I appreciate that.
Wow.
And I
No,
played
that's
that
real talk.
year. Yeah, played that year, bounced out after that sophomore year. And, right, everybody like, man, where your game at? I had no coaching. So I remember shooting 79, breaking 80 in a college tournament. And my Caucasian constituents, they was like, man, you think you're good now? Like, Tim, you shooting 79? Like, what I mean? They shot probably like 84, 83. The AD was at our head, like, come on, coach, none of your kids are shooting in the 70s. I mean, come on, you know what I mean? Like, he got pressure
Yeah.
on them. And then at the home event, I remember that I shot 79. And I mean, so all of this is from pure just athletic, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? Just inclination. No PGA instruction. No, right. My coach, God bless him, still living today, Nathaniel Staten, my head golf coach in high school. He taught me, the grip and, different, all the way he knew. He got me introduced. But that led to leaving for actually 3 years. Well, I actually left Prairie State and went to Vincennes University. And I did fashion shows for 3 years, bro. I modeled and choreographed scenes, and literally golf wasn't even in my mind anymore. Like, it was in my mind, but I didn't have the aspiration and fire for 3 years. So I really took 3 years like totally off. I actually tried out for the golf team and dramatically failed and did not shoot the score to make the team. So I didn't even make the team, and then that deterred me, and I just did my fashion shows and things like that. Accelerated, came back home after I graduated with my associates, and I was playing back at South Gleason and met a brother when I was on the course, and he said, "What are you trying to do with your life, Tim?" I'm like, "I don't know. Like, I got my associates." I'm like, obviously, you think get your bachelor's, right? But like, I was kind of like, I didn't know. Like, I wanted to do something. I don't know, man. It was just kind of like I was
Yeah.
in that lost space, in that limbo. He was like, "Well, I got a guy who's looking for guys to give a scholarship to play golf at Chicago State." And by the name of Marty Sheen, my golf dad today. Craig Bowen is the guy that gave me the lift to, get that opportunity. I
Good
went and
stuff.
met Marty, and lo and behold, gave me a Division I full ride golf scholarship, full tuition
Come
and
on, man.
books.
Again, and that gets the air horn. And
Yeah,
because those are
yeah.
just, I mean, those are rare, and that's just blessings and blessings and blessings. Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah, Doc. Yeah, so I got the full D1 experience. Got to play
That's
at
dope.
that level, the best in the nation. Learn how to travel with my golf clubs. Like get on the plane and just the whole experience, man. Put in the travel bag, take your clubs out, go to, just the whole experience. And that honestly re-sparked my fire to train to play professionally on the PGA Tour. That
Okay.
reignited everything because my coach played on tour. He played on the Sunshine Tour in South Africa with Ernie Els.
Nice.
Won the Illinois Open 3 times, I think 3 years back to back.
Wow.
And really, he was a dog. I actually played at Illinois State, Illinois, or the Illini.
Nice.
Yeah, I played
Oh, yeah.
out
He was
there. So
golfing this
he
ball.
was giving me, yeah. So he was giving me all this insight and letting me know I had potential. So really, what my big drive on really training to develop and what I believed I had a competitive advantage of, which came naturally, was distance. I saw from high school that I was hitting this ball 30, 40 yards past my opponents. And I knew and I used to get it all the time. Like, man, dude, you hit the ball far. And I knew I hit it like decently long, but I'm hitting the ball 300 yards my first year playing golf. And I'm not tall, right? I'm like 5'11" in high school. Maybe I think I was like 175 or something like that, 180, but distance came natural. So I was like, man, I feel like I got a competitive advantage. If I can hit my ball 30 yards, 10 yards, however further, and hit a shorter club into the greens on average, my opponents hitting a longer club. I mean, that's how I'm processing it.
Yeah,
My
yeah.
opponents would have a tough time hitting the ball closer to me in proximity because I'm hitting a shorter
Yep.
club. That's how I was looking at it. So get to college, man. I'm banging the ball. I was just raw, no PGA instruction. He gave me a shot, and he tried to nurture me as much as he can, as much as a college coach can, because they have to focus on the team. They can't nurture and put that full effort into
Player.
one player. But I played, man. I led my team after my second year. I think I had 2 years of eligibility left. Had some high rounds, had some low rounds, man. But just the experience
That's right.
ultimately hit my first 400-yard drive. That was in
Wow.
San Antonio, Texas. And bro, when I tell you, Doc, it really started to expose some stuff, man. Like I was like, all right, man, I think I got something that I need to nurture and bring out its full potential. And I believe I can compete. I believe I can compete at the highest level. So long story short, took me out, graduated, bachelor's in physical education, went through a few ranks, taught in elementary school, Montessori school in Inglewood for 2 years, branched out from there, and then ultimately started teaching at Golf Tech company where I was in the corporate space. They did well, they taught me well, and then I honestly felt that I was being suppressed. My dreams were being suppressed, my ambitions were being suppressed with the corporate structure. So within that stint, I started to wean away from the corporate structure and develop my own company, MERCER Golf Performance, where I teach a private list of students, where I develop them in the total game, not only their swing, but the total performance of the player, so the mental, the fitness. I incorporate my physical, education as far as exercise physiology, biomechanics, things of that nature, nutrition. And I developed that company for the sole purpose to give myself more wealth of time to develop what I believe was a competitive advantage. And that's ultimately what happened. And that's where I stand today, 2 years as a solo entrepreneur, where I teach a private list of students at country clubs, public courses, indoor locations in the wintertime because I'm in the shop. And that's availed me opportunities that I can't talk about right now, but it's
It. We
definitely
can
going
only
up though.
imagine. That's right.
Yeah,
That's right. Let's get that up.
it's definitely, man. Thank you. So I appreciate the time. That's my life, and man, I tried to
And
downsize
a nanosecond. Well, starting at 14 and really playing D1 ball, playing D1 golf is crazy. It's like
Yeah.
1%, less than 1%.
Fact.
It's you're at the top echelon of actual competitive golf, and I think that's what we all say. If we could get real, true athletes, because I believe just like you, Tim, or Tiger, or Cam, y'all would have been good at anything athletically.
Facts.
You're just you're athlete. You're a natural
Yeah.
athlete. I think Tiger would have been a great baseball player or a free safety. I think you could be a free safety, a basketball player, or a golfer. And if more of our athletes actually went the road you took, it wasn't easy, but you took it and you ended up D1. That's crazy. That's a crazy journey. That's a crazy
So
journey.
I'm
Big
working out
Sif.
one time playing golf, like they told me, and I had a golf. The scholarship was in golf. I'm a golfer. I'm working out in our 3 a day or 3 a week with our fitness coach, and the track coach came in the in the gym and saw me working out. Was like, I had no idea who was this guy. It was like, let's tell Mercer. My coach was telling him, it's like, man, we need somebody to run the 100-meter dash in conference.
Wow,
bro. He pulled me down to Houston. I went and ran conference. I ran to Houston twice, indoor and outdoor, the 60-meter indoor, 100-meter outdoor, and then actually ran in Wisconsin, had an invitation where I qualified for final in the 60 and 100-meter dash. And they on the squad like trying to give me people's spots in the 4x4. I'm like, come on, man. I ain't trying to. They're like, man, you faster than our third leg. Like, pull up. I'm like, man, I ain't trying to go take no spots. I'm just there not to get fined. Like,
that's a dope story, because usually they pull the football players to come do some track.
Right.
I ain't never heard of cats going to the golf team to pull. Come on, that's crazy. But when we get athletes like that in golf, that's when you're gonna see crazy advancement. So if you're a big time football college person, what you got for us? What kind of questions you got for Mr. Tim?
Well, Mr. Mercer, man, I have a deep appreciation for you because I kind of followed the same steps as you. I'm a 3-sport athlete, got drafted in baseball out of high school, ended up playing college football, played basketball. So the love is mutual. Now, but here's the thing. You taught yourself, self-taught golfer, which I really appreciate because I did the same thing. Mm-hmm. But with your success, what people fail to understand, especially some of our younger kids, is that, I mean, they can go get lessons that, you need to pronate, all that kind of stuff. But if you ain't got no dog,
that's a fact.
If you don't have dog, see, I can already tell you had dog. And see, it's a difference. It's a difference, man, when you have a good kid, and I love good kids. When you have a good kid that goes to golf lessons and, the golf coach is saying do this and do that. But if you don't have that dog to get you from point A to point B, where things may not be going right, but you have something inside of you to say, you know what, I'm going to push past that shit and I'm going to get over the top. I can tell you had the dog. So let me ask you this question. I'm sure there were plenty of people during your tenure playing golf that probably had better golf swings than you did. It looked good. But I guarantee you at some point when you were competing, you outplayed them. So if you could speak to our younger people and especially the parents, because some of these parents think their kids are already crowned, but they don't have it in between. Talk to us and tell us about that dog. What is dog? Some people don't understand what dog is.
Man, you touching on the point, Doc. You touching on the point. Real talk. So I've had the opportunity to teach and instruct as I built up to finally teaching for a corporation and teaching ultimately for my within my company. And I taught the rich kids way up north that got all the resources, the country club access, the club, the equipment, the coaching, personal coaching, all that man, you could dream at the palm of your hand, and resources that you needed to become number one in the world, let's just say. And I teach them and they're taught, versus the individual from the South Side in Inglewood who only thing he knows is traditional sports of basketball or what he's presented, or whom he sees himself represented by like another black male easily, right, in a football helmet on the gym court, with no resources, no introduction to the sport of golf, no exposure to it, or possible trend of a wave, right, to be exposed to it. It's two different mentalities that I found, right? So what I could not teach, instill, or inject into the kid who had the privilege of being born into a trust fund and have all the resources, that work ethic, that dog, what you talking about, we'll just label it as that, because that's what it is. I mean, to the point where they would have every resource, and I'll come back and say, hey, did you practice this week? No. I'm like, why not? I don't know, just, like they're used to having it given to them. They're not used to building something from the ground, getting it out the mud, like, being
Digging it out the
resourceful, and
dirt.
you know what I mean? Like
Exactly.
that work ethic. And I found that out. I mean, this is after years of teaching the youth from the South inner city all the way to the up north, north side, heavy rich, heavy wealthy families. And what I found, there's a difference in perspective of work ethic, growth. Man, it's a wide gap in between. So if you give the same resources that you got those kids on the north side, right, to that inner city kid, right, that man turns into another tiger. I'm not playing. Starting at the right age, being introduced to it with all the resources, it's a difference. So I've seen that, and I would say to that extent, I had that only. I was walking into these tournaments. I'm the only black kid on the team. I'm the only black kid in the field. I'm the only black kid in the conference. Like, no representation to me. So when I went out there, I had this duty to represent not only myself ethically, right? Like I couldn't come off as too hard, even if it was a rude call on me or something, and turn up on them. Like I had to keep a standard to,
Yeah.
manage the representation of my culture, but also, man, I had to play to get some respect. Like
Yeah.
man, like I gotta in my mind, I'm like, bro, I got to break 80. Like that was my goal, right? Because I
Yeah.
knew I didn't have all of the structure to be as tight as I could have and have but I knew I can contact this ball, choose the right clubs, aim at the right part of the green, eat the right food the day before. Like I can, it's a lot of things I could control that would allow me to clip my opponents, which I did, man, on multiple times. And
Nice.
yeah, it's that dog, bro, for real.
That's right.
Awesome.
That's right. Let's get that out.
Okay.
Trish, you have a question.
Yeah. So Tim, I know you so you teach obviously, and then I know you were down here in Florida just recently competing. So are you still, I mean, is there still a dream of, taking it to the next level? Like what are we doing with that?
Absolutely. Everything that I do and have done, and I don't express this outwardly, but let's go ahead and do it, is for the ultimate realization of my destiny being manifested on the PGA Tour. Like
That's right.
everything that I do, right? I left corporate to give myself, I took a pay cut, I took a sacrifice, right? And that being my finances, where as long as my expenses were covered, and I state this outwardly because this is to the entrepreneur as well. But I knew that I had more traction towards my potential and my destiny that equated as valuable or worth the leap, right? Like I wasn't making 100 bands as I could have if I stayed with this company. But if I started my company, I might downsize to like 40, 35, right? In the upcoming years, and you build, you can make 100 bands. But I knew it wasn't going to be that in the beginning. But I knew my wealth of time was increased. And at that time, and at this time currently, my wealth is in my time, not in necessarily the dollar figure. Because that time, that 8 hours that I was spending under the corporate umbrella building someone else's dream, where I was suppressing mine, it's a lot more traction. It's a lot more effective and better use of my time if I'm putting that 100% back into myself. So
Back into
everything that I
self.
do is for that, man.
Okay.
Let's get that up again. So how did we get the name the human Bugatti of golf? How did that transpire? I think it's dope. How did that
Oh yeah.
transpire?
Oh, it's fire.
So shout out to my publicist, Misty Blanco, at the Misty Blanco production firm.
That's right. Let's give her some round. That's a man.
So this woman is amazing, man. She has such a tenacity. She has such a go-get-itness. She was featured on Diddy's Making the Band back in like the early 2000s. Misty Blanco. It's my publicist. She's my
Okay.
publicist. Recognized us today. Go see her. She gonna blow you up like she know how to do. But she just understands algorithms. She understands stories, rollouts. She just has, right. She owns her own TV network that has like I think 300 million downloads or something like that coming out on
Nice.
Roku and Apple TV and things like that. Good sister, man. Great sister. She was like, she saw one of my videos where I reached the ball speed on TrackMan of 190 miles an hour.
Oh wow.
Now, that was
That's sick.
that was a jump for me because so one, TrackMan versus like other launch monitor systems are like TrackMan's a little more stubborn, right? It don't give it up, man. I was telling them like, this like that girl you meet who you gonna have to work for to, get what you got.
Exactly.
But that. But yeah, like it's stubborn, right? So I've never been able to do it. I've done it. I've cracked 190 on like the GC quad, the GCs and things like that, other, flight scope, things like that. But like TrackMan was just like, oh, you don't want to get his number up. So this one night in particular, got it up to 190, and she saw that video, and then they reached out to me, and we talked about, we was actually on another business deal about doing like a reality TV show and things like that. But she was like, no, I saw you hit the ball 190 miles an hour. Who is doing that? Where's that? That is insane. Like she just, she don't know golf, but she know 190 miles an hour. If you hit the ball and made it go, like that's something. She was like, that's like, how fast does a Bugatti go? I was like, I think like 200, something like that. 200? You 190? You the human Bugatti of golf. Like she was it's just like that. I'm like, hold on. And I had to look it up. I'm like, hold on, right? Like Bugatti, right? All right, exclusive car plus $1 million car, right? There's a small percentage of individuals that own and possess a Bugatti. I think in like 2019, 2015, something like that, Bugatti sold only 77 Bugattis in the year. Only 77 Bugattis in the year. So there's a very small, it's like a point something percentage. I swing the club at 135 miles an hour max, 130 average.
That's crazy.
Generating a ball speed of an average of 184 plus, right? I did the math too. There's a small percentage that possess my ability. So you saw how it kind of equated, right? So human Bugatti of golf.
Nice.
Misty,
It makes
man.
perfect sense. Yeah, shout out to Misty
thank you.
for that vision.
We like that.
Her mind was working. That's
she's
what
great.
you need. The mind was working. Trish.
Definitely.
So what would you tell? So you went off to college, you did D1. Like, so we have some college students that are playing out at Howard, Prairie View. We bring the HBCUs on and things of that sort. What advice would you give these youth that are out there getting ready to go and do their college thing, or while they're in college? Like, what would you tell them? Whether it's time management or whatever. What advice would you give these young adults going into this world?
It's a great opportunity. I really relish this moment, seriously. So I honestly, when I was at Chicago State, I didn't apply for it. I didn't try to. They told me this. So first and foremost, I was a scholarship athlete, but I was also a scholar as an athlete, right? So I maintained a GPA where I was recognized. At that time, we were the Great West Conference, I believe. And I was recognized as the Great West Conference Scholar Athlete. It was like an award and an acknowledgement for the maintenance of a GPA and the level of excellence and execution as an athlete, which led to ultimately, like I said, I was down in Houston running track. We was at conference there, and the track coach was passing out keys to to all the players and all the runners or whatever to get their rooms. And we all bunched up in the lobby, and I was like the last of the three. And he's passing out keys, and he handed the key and said, "Hey, y'all got this room." And I was left by myself, and I seen him doubling people up. And he turned and was like, "Tim, here go your key to your room." I was like, "In my own room?" He was like, "Yeah." It's like, "You student athlete of the year." I was
That's
like,
dope.
what?
Let's get that up.
I was like,
That's dope. That's hella dope.
I'm like, what? Like, I didn't know. I didn't apply for it. I knew the banquet was going on, like that we have each year, but it ran through the same time as conference for track. So that's why I was with. So I didn't make it. But I won Student Athlete of the Year. One student athlete selected out of every sport that is
Wow.
offered at the college.
That's
Wow.
good. That's amazing.
That's
I don't
huge.
know why, but I believe strongly that my representation, my brand of an athlete or a scholar as an athlete had a lot to do with that. Which, to what you're based on your question, I would say keeping that balance between, right, like developing yourself as an individual as well as a player is morbidly important, because what I was able to do coming out of college, what I was able to obtain in professionalism, right, as because of my studies, along with, you know, trying to develop to be a good player, both are very useful in value as an adult, right? Like, and I would say just for life maintenance, man, like you need those reps, not only, you know, out the bunker, or those reps in the putting drill, or those reps in what mechanic you're working on, but you need reps in public speaking. You need reps in, you know, verbalization, to know how to articulate a point across, politics, like whatever you into, like you need
Yeah.
both of those, because you just never know, man. And it's always, you know, we always want to, you know, pray for the good, right? We want that, but if anything happens, if anything fails, you still have, I still have my degree. I went into
Yeah.
teaching, and I taught 2 years in the elementary school, made the most money I ever had coming out of that. And guess what? As a PE teacher, my old principal go ahead is, I'm in the gym hitting golf balls into the wall, keeping the sleeve tight, you know, in
That's
between
right.
classes. And, you know, so it's just a balance. It's a balance. I'm on the plane with an exercise physiology book on my table, studying for a test that I had to take after the tournament until we come back. You know, so I would say balance both of those. Become number one in the world, number one in the nation, number one amateur in your golf field, but become number one in your class in the education side. So balance.
That's right. That's right.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
That's what's up, man. I believe that our golf journey is in good hands with young cats like you and a few others we've talked
Appreciate
to.
that.
You know, this struggle's been going on. Like I said, Sif comes from golf royalty. This been going on since the
Yeah.
50s, since the 1800s with John
Yeah.
at Shinnecock Hills. You
Shipping for
know, we
sure.
got that story coming on, the shipping story. So this
Yeah.
journey is 125-year journey, and each one teach one. And you know, like we always say, you family. I know you about to do some big things, so we
Yes,
gonna
sir.
need you back
Woo.
on the update us,
Yeah.
and keep it going. Sif, I want you to have parting words, and then Trish.
Tim, man, it was a pleasure, bro. It's always great to see. I call you guys young cats. It's always great to see young
Yeah.
cats, man, doing well. You know, it makes me feel that, as Manny reiterated, that we've left this place in good hands with brothers like yourself. It's
Appreciate
always
that.
good to see a youngin that's I call it unilateral. And what I mean by unilateral is you can go to the hood, and you can go to the White House,
That's a
and
fact.
you can use
In between.
I
you can
love that.
actually disseminate information in the hood. Then you can articulate the same information in the White House, and we need that. And so I take my hat off to you, man. I wish you the best. All I need to know is the lessons that you're giving some of your students. Who do I need to pull up on? Because I travel now. I pull up now.
All right, Doc. All right, we got you. I'm gonna call you.
Yeah.
Oh,
Hey,
man.
you ain't out of reach either now. You need to know that.
Hey, listen. I'm from the G, man. You heard that, right? Like,
That's right.
you heard that dog. I'm coming. I'm ready. Let me know.
I'm
Time
a
of day.
bad man.
Oh yeah, we gonna all get together and go. We gonna all
Let's
get
get it.
together and go
Let's
for
do
sure.
that.
Trish, final parting words.
Tim, thank you so much for coming on. We really appreciate it. Now, look, anytime you have any events or any tournaments that you're planning and you're in the area, let us know. We'll come out. I mean, I could have came out to Orlando and checked you out, see how you was doing and everything. But I mean, you said three. Did you say 300? Did you hit a 300-yard shot? I mean,
He said a
I look for
400-yard drive.
Oh,
400.
yeah,
He
yeah.
said first was
Oh,
300, then the 400. Okay.
Right. Yeah,
that's
it's
So
crazy.
both, right.
the thing about it, just to ask, so you said, so I was always told I ran track too.
Okay.
So they say if you have the fast twitch muscles, it
All right.
correlates to a farther swing. Is that true?
It definitely assists. I just posted it. Well, yeah, I just posted it actually on my IG. I tried it, y'all. I tried to do this long drive swing, just not
Okay.
like right. Like I'm training my swing to be managed, and I need to hit fairways, right? Like that's
Mhm.
that's why I'm getting it. But I actually tried like a rock, lean back, quick snatching.
Yeah.
Man, got that ball speed up to 195.
Ooh.
195.
Man, I was gonna ask you, are you gonna dabble in the long drive?
Yeah.
I was
I
gonna
get it
ask you.
all. I get it all the time.
I
All
would
the
dabble.
time.
You should at least dabble and just see.
Dabble a little bit. Hey, for real though,
Dabble.
yesterday showed something up, man. When I actually like attempted that swing, like I feel so wild, like rocking. You know, I'm trying to stay stable. I'm working on. So I just tried it, man. So my fastest ball speed is 199. Like I'm on the brinks of breaking 200, man. So that's
That's
like my
crazy.
goal. So I
That's
went
crazy.
out last night and just tried to amp it up and find out what I can. And I was like, and I'm still not using. Let's note this. I'm still not using a long driver. This is a standard USGA
46
conforming.
inches. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Like, not actually,
Mhm.
I'm like 44 3/4.
That's
That's the
what I
length of
do.
my
I do
driver.
it shorter too. Yeah, yeah.
Yep, with an 8-degree loft. Man, Doc. So, and I'm generating
Wow.
135, 136 club head speed, 199 ball speed with a standard conforming driver. I believe if I get that 4-degree loft, right, get that 46 inches, you know what I mean? So it's always a thought, but I'm like thinking about my body. That's a lot of
Yeah.
strain on my body.
Yeah.
That's true.
If I
But you
could, bro. Like if I really train for it, like,
right.
cause I keep my physique at a certain level. I don't bulk up because
Right.
I know, like, you know what I mean? Like I'm trying to maintain some things I'm trying to stay tour ready. Like it ain't, I'm not
Yeah,
trying to
yeah, yeah,
switch my
yeah.
focus. So I want to be a
Okay.
jack of
I
all
feel you
trades,
on that.
master of none. So
Yeah.
But Manny's got a good point.
yeah,
And I'll say because we never want to shit on your dreams because
sure.
like you said, you already have in your mind what you're trying to do. But Manny makes
Absolutely.
a good point. I'm gonna tell you why he makes a good point is because you have a brand, the Bugatti of golf. Long
True.
drive. You
Man,
got a
True.
man,
brand.
come
You
on.
got a
Dabble in
personality.
it, brother. I'm gonna tell you
I
one
can
more
see it.
time.
I can
You
see
Yeah.
it.
gotta dabble.
That
No.
right there itself is gonna sell. You know
Yes,
what I
sir.
mean? So
Yes, sir.
you're a walking brand. And so you look at it out there, a lot of those guys are just brands.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true,
They
man.
don't hit it. They don't hit it. They're not the champion. They just have a brand.
No,
Smooth looking brother.
Dabble.
Yeah. I would dabble
Dabble.
dabble.
with
You
it.
never know. You
Dabble.
never
I'm a
know.
dabble.
Don't hurt your body. Don't hurt your. But you're a professional athlete, to be honest.
All right.
Track, golf.
That
You're
was
a
the thing.
professional.
Like when I started doing it, I'm like, I didn't feel exerted. I didn't feel like I was even giving it all. Like I feel like I'm built. Like right. You try to drive a Honda at 200 miles an hour, that might gonna be. But that
Shaking.
Bugatti
You
at 200,
shaking.
we
Exactly.
still. So it's like I felt
You
like,
was
bro,
still smooth.
yeah, like I ain't off balance yet. I ain't spun out. I ain't done like. I'm like, man, I'm built for it. I really believe that. So noted,
Well, I
man.
would
Dabble on that.
never
We gonna.
dabble a little bit. You never can. Yeah,
All
you
right,
can
I'm gonna come out.
dabble
Y'all
on
gonna be
that.
like, he did it. Y'all gonna see
I'm
it.
telling you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And when
We
you
want to see
dabbling
it.
in
We want to
that,
see it.
have you played any APGA events?
Yeah, I played a couple.
Okay, okay,
The
okay,
last one I played in was in Chicago, maybe 2 years ago.
okay.
Yeah, man, I try to
Okay.
get in those, but I'm gonna get on there full time. I'm saying, man, something really happened today. something really happened
Okay.
today.
Okay.
Where I'm gonna be.
Well, when it's all said and done, come on back and share with us. Share it on us
Absolutely.
IG, because you family now, brother.
That's
That's all we
love.
can say.
That's love. Thank you.
Indiana's in the house.
Yes, sir.
Chi-Town is
Yes, sir.
in the house. Let's give it up for
Love
Tim
it.
Mercer. All right, you guys, every Wednesday, and we're on every podcast network. You can listen in your car. Make sure you stop by that Golf LA store and pick up some merch. And we out.
We out.
We